The Maze Prison, originally Long Kesh and still its preferred title by inmates, began life as a prisoner of war camp on the site of this old RAF airfield. It was in these Nissen huts and cages that thousands of Republicans and many Loyalists were interned without trial during the early Troubles. It was razed to the ground in 1974 and replaced by the now familiar H-block structures, where inmates would serve their time before emerging as heroes.
The only colour really was various shades of grey. And it was a strange feeling. It was the grey corrugated iron, the grey wire mesh, the grey bricks of the H-blocks, and the grey asphalt.
The loss of special category status in 1976 led to years of prisoner protests and set the scene for others who would in time make the ultimate sacrifice for political prisoner status. The first to die on hunger strike was Bobby Sands in 1981. Politically, these weeks and months would strain Anglo-Irish relations to the limit.
That you cannot and must not give political status, nor must you give things which step by step by step would be tantamount to giving that political status.
Aerial views of the H-block featured nightly on news bulletins throughout the world.
In the last hour, the news has filtered through to this community that Bobby Sands has died after 66 days of hunger strike.
9 others would follow Bobby Sands. In all, Republicans had 10 new martyrs.
That prison struggle, and again, as I say, particularly the hunger strike period, played a significant part in helping to end the criminalisation policy that the British had adopted, and in the wider expansion and development of the Republican movement and the Republican struggle today.
There have been several high-profile escapes from the prison, none more so than in 1983 when, under the direction of Sinn Féin's Jerry Kelly, 38 Republican inmates escaped in a prison catering van.
The film that the Republican prisoners were watching the night before it was Escape from Devil's Island.
One prison officer died after being stabbed in the chest with a screwdriver. To this day, 4 of those prisoners remain at large. Once more, the focus was on security in 1997 after the shooting dead of prominent loyalist Billy Wright. Collusion between the authorities and the INLA was alleged. The discovery of an IRA tunnel around the same time resulted in new restrictions on inmates. Loyalists were quick to vent their anger. The Maze prisoners have always been central to the peace process. Mo Mowlam risked her political career when she held face-to-face meetings with some of the North's most notorious murderers 2 years ago. Many Republicans and Loyalists gained degrees and doctorates while being detained at Her Majesty's pleasure. The prison wardens, 29 of whom have been murdered, will soon be redundant. Many of their former charges now sit in Parliament.